guys, this is Sky and Thread. Welcome back. I am Kelly, and today we're going to do a VR to Katey Flowers Only 10 Decks tarot tag. I have been waiting to do this tag because I was waiting for this box. I ordered this from a shop on Etsy, and it is a tarot box that holds 10 decks. Right? Perfect? Right? Also, doesn't it look nice? Doesn't it look cool? I am in love with it. It took forever to get here. Came from Ukraine, and they had some backlog with some of the orders because I think their Instagram ads took off a lot faster, got a lot more popular than they were expecting. Also, I'm sorry if you see a lot of cuts in this. I am getting over some kind of like cold. I have some cough going on, so I'm going to try to edit as much of that out as I can. So, you know, I hope you understand. Also, I'm not the best video editor. I try my best, but I am definitely still a novice. I'm still learning. But yeah, so I thought for this, her tag says no honorable mentions, no cheating, 10 decks. And I was like, okay, so if this is my box, this box does not hold oversized decks other than Oracle, and even the Oracle can't be too chunky. It has to be like a standard size. If I have to take 10 standard size decks that I can just put in this box, and if there's a fire, I can grab this box and be out of my house. What 10 decks do I put in here? And that was actually a lot of hard decisions because, like I said, it's not all my favorite decks, but it is decks I'm like, okay, I need this. Or this is like the closest thing I'm going to get to the other one. So I might throw in a name here and there that are not here, but I'll try to spare you the honorable mentions as much as I can. I'm not good at that because, you know, I love all my decks. We all love all our decks. So thanks, Katey, for making this really tough. Yeah, you're killing me. But yeah, so I said, okay, I got this box, let's go. So there will be a couple oracles in here, and but it's mostly tarot. So let's go ahead and go. I'm gonna open this up and we will get started. Let me see if I can just swoop it back around behind me. Okay, so first deck that I think we all know and love here is going to be my Centennial Borderless Rider-Waite Smith. Let me see if I can hold it up for you guys. Do I need to focus there? Okay. So it's the tried and true standard. Everybody knows it. But I'm taking one with me, you know. Like I said, I'm still studying. I'll never stop studying. This is probably my fundamental tarot deck, right? Oh, my battery's gonna die, so hold on just a second. Had to have a crisis averted with the battery. Okay, so there we go. So you can see it's just a traditional Rider-Waite, and like I said, it's just the one that I learned on. It's my tried and true. When I honestly don't want to have to think, I can just go on what I know, the quickest, the easiest, and like I said, the most comfortable for me. But and I just love the Borderless edition. I think the artwork just feels free and easy to see. I would love to get one of the giant ones eventually, but for now, let me put you back in focus. There we go. I would love to get the giant one eventually one day, but for now, this does it. I have a mini and a 10, but like we said, we're talking about 10 that fit in this box that I can take with me. That, you know, the 10 I'm gonna grab for first. So second, oops, it's still in the box. This is my vintage Thoth. Bring it back in. This is my vintage Thoth. I say vintage, but it's from the 80s. And I keep them in the box. I do have a bigger one, more a newer one that I actually used to study with. I have been getting better with Thoth. It is what you call it? It is a system I am working on becoming more and more familiar with. I do use it, but I do take more time, and I don't have the confidence I have with my Rider-Waite Smith just yet. But this one fits in the box, and like I said, this is one of my only like actual vintage decks, so I would definitely want to keep this one with me. Oops, there's this book. It does have the 3 magician cards, the 3 magus cards, and I'll go ahead and show you some of this deck. I think you're in focus there. It's hard to tell on my little viewfinder. Okay, so yeah, this is my 1980 something Thoth deck. We got some reversals. There's not supposed to be reversals. I know. I like reversals though, so you're gonna find them. I like my life to be difficult. But I know Thoth isn't necessary to have reversals, but I don't know. For me, when I read, reversals are a card that needs more of my attention than the others. And to me, that's a part of my reading style. So I do have days where I don't feel called to do reversals, and those days I don't do them, but for most part I do. So anyway, it's a great deck. It took me a long time to appreciate this artwork, I will be honest. I tried getting other Thoth decks that had more, I had other decks that had more modern art for Thoth because I didn't think I liked the art style. But the more I learned about it and the more I read, the more I actually grew to appreciate the art style of Lady Frieda Harris. And now I love it. So it was a grower. It took a while. But yeah, now I'm totally into it, and I hope to one day feel as comfortable with Thoth as I do with Rider-Waite Smith, and then, you know, then we'll be moving on to Marseille or whatever's next, you know. If you watched my 13 Halloween video, this is no surprise. This is my Santa Muerte Tarot by Fabio Listrani. It's just one of those decks that I feel brings in a lot of really great unique views of the cards, a lot of inspiration. Trying to make sure you guys can see okay. Just a lot of really unique and vibrant artwork. I love color. It's funny, I do have some black and white decks, but for the most part, I literally love vibrant color, and this deck is just, it's all of that. It's dark, but it's funny, but it's, you know, deep, and I don't know, I feel like it has like this connection to ancestry and like I said, culture, but approachable for all cultures. I love it, and has the masculine and feminine representation and like a good balance, which you don't always see. It's got some cool like MC Escher stuff going on. It's just a cool deck. I think it's really, really cool. And if you want to look at the tarot with a Rider-Waite Smith foundation, but with just a lot of unique approach, this is a great deck, and it's affordable, it's mass market. I edged mine in red myself. I just thought it worked with the backs really good. I did not show you guys the backs to the other two, but I mean, they're like 2 of the most common card systems, so you've probably seen them around. But I'll try to make sure I cover the backs. This is probably the newest one in here. And like I said, I have a lot of color. I like a lot of color, but I also wanted to include at least one monochromatic deck. Again, this is my Tarot of the Toiling Hands. This is one of the few indie decks that are in here. Cards are having a little bit of a, what's the word? Like frayed a bit on the edges, but that's fine. I'm kind of rough with my cards. But yeah, this is a black and white deck, but I love that it kind of reminds me of like the Golden Dawn and the Hermetic Tarots with the title. There you go. With the titles on there. I do have a full flip through of this deck on my channel. And her artwork is just really, really cool. A lot going on. It has like just hints of different art styles, tattoo style, art deco style, historical clothing, modern clothing. It kind of branches through, it's timeless and it's modern and it's cross-cultural. It's got a lot of just representation, and it's definitely like the black and white deck for me now. It is just, it's got everything I needed to have for a black and white deck that doesn't feel too minimal, because I think that's a problem I have with most black and white deck is that they feel really minimal, and this definitely does not. So I love it. Again, like I said, I have a full walkthrough. My arms are already tired, guys. How do you do this? How do you do it like this? Oh my goodness. You know what? I think I'm going to insert some flip throughs because, wow, my arm's tired. Y'all are strong. You guys are strong. So, plus that'll help me from having to change the focus for you guys all the time. So the next one is going to be the New Moon from Pixel Occult. I absolutely love Pixel Occult's decks. They've got one I really want called, I think, Wayward Dark. That is more Thoth based. That I think once I'm better with my Thoth practice, I will definitely be getting. And these cards have borders, but not too bad. I think I'll go ahead and zoom in here and give you guys some footage of these. I said some of these are upside down. And one thing I really love about these is just that they're so cyberpunk. Cyberpunk is like my favorite genre of like anime and animation and books. But like Ghost in the Shell, it was like a, what's the word? Ghost in the Shell was really powerful to me as a young mind, and you know, The Matrix, all that kind of stuff. If you like kind of, you know, Blade Runner and you know, just that techie aesthetic, you don't see it in tarot very much. And for all the modern decks, like kind of a futuristic tech deck, like just, I love it. And I love the colors are kind of monochromatic, but again, the colors are really bright and vivid. A lot of people might not like that this deck is really glossy, but I live with it. You know, like I said, only for YouTube do I find a problem where it kind of is hard to work with, because obviously the lighting can be stronger. But yeah, I love it. I just love it. I know it's a really unique thing, but this is one of those decks that super speaks to me. So yeah, I really enjoy it. Okay, so speaking of colors, this deck obviously shows every little fingerprint on the all black backs, but this is Tarot of the Holy Spectrum. And Tarot of the Holy Spectrum is another one that the colors are just so bright and so vivid. There's something really timeless in the way the clothing styles and the people are represented in this deck. Let me go ahead and get you guys the up close view. Yep, there we go. You know, it has like a color for every suit, and the person in the majors is the same person all the way through. It's like aspects, it's more internal, where it's aspects of yourself. You know, this is our main character in the major arcana. See if I can show more of that. they're covered up there. Now here you go, and the Lovers, the same person. But yeah, so the way the use of color here, just really, really amazing. You know, sometimes it's just a little, just enough. It's like minimalism is used sparingly and with intention. It doesn't feel like it's just a self-imposed limit or an aesthetic. It's like it has a meaning, you know, within the rest of the deck, or context, I guess, within the rest of the deck. So yeah, it's something really cool. Like you see the people, like the knights do feel like traditional knights on horses, but not all the people feel like they're in a certain period of time with the clothing style and the hairstyles and stuff. But at the same time, I don't know. It's this mix of feeling historic, but also still modern at the same time. I just love it. I think this deck is super, super fun, super cool, very, very unique. And I think it is another indie deck. You know, I would have loved to have my True Black Tarot along as well. But number one, it's too thick. It does not fit in the box. It's a little hard to work with. And I think at the end of the day, if I had to pick one, this one probably be the more, this one will probably be the easier one to carry around with me when I don't know what kind of situation I'm going to be in. If I had to just, like I said, uproot myself and leave in like that, this is going to be the deck that's just a lot easier to do that. You know, that's going to be more, I don't want to say effective, but more convenient. Okay, so my favorite deck of all time is not a secret. Again, pretty sure if you watched my, well, you know what? Actually, I did the Hearth and Home tag, and then I think I didn't even upload it because of some issues I was having. So maybe I didn't talk about how much I love this deck on this channel before, but we're gonna do it now. Go ahead and get you guys up here. Shadowscapes Tarot is the love of my life. Gosh, I just wish I had I have the big book from the kit with this, but the pictures are all in black and white, and I wish I had just full color, full size, a book with this imagery, because it's so dense and there's so much going on, but it's so delicate and so beautiful and so just colorful. Again, we have like a pretty good strong color theme for each of the suits, and it is my like fairy air energy kind of deck. You know, it definitely feels very fae, at least in that kind of medieval elvish fae kind of context. But yeah, I love how much is always going on. There's always like something, there's always something going on in these cards, like everywhere you look. Like there's no space kind of taken for granted. And even with the animals, again, this is probably my most animal, well, I have the Brady Tarot as well, but when it comes to animal energy, this is probably still also my go-to deck. Because I don't know, there's a lot of animal decks I just don't vibe with. I try. I love animals, but just with a tarot deck, I don't really vibe with too much animal energy, but this one I do. I think because it's like the mix. So I think because it's a good mix of people, of masculine, feminine, and animal energies, it just feels like it has everything. And also just like this beautiful, emotional art style. One of my favorites. And it was also probably one of the first decks I tried to mod on my own, where I tried to edge it with like silver ink. The ink got everywhere. Most of the backs have some fingerprint with silver or like the edges bleeding all over the place. But I do have a backup if I ever mess up with this deck in some way. I break it, bend it, rip it, whatever. But for now, this one stays in the box of 10. That's like, you know, if I have to make a quick decision, it's coming with me for sure. The next one kind of helps me with my Oracle stuff, because I only picked one other Oracle to go in this box, which was difficult because I really wanted to include more Oracle. But when I had to make the hard decision of what I actually work with and what I don't, Tarot really wins. I don't have that much Oracle. I have some, and I always have my eyes open for more, but this one works for both, really. It has a nice tarot kind of formula, but it's its own thing. And yeah, this is the Dreams of Gaia. So we are going to see here that has, again, strong colors, nice, evocative, emotive artwork, has some animal and nature energy to it. Again, it kind of has a little bit of that fey, wild energy as well. But yeah, so it will double duty as tarot and oracle, and just kind of its own thing. Also dragons. I love dragons. This also has some chakra work references and stuff in it too. So as you can see, it has like everything. It really has everything that you need, you know. It's probably it's probably easily top 5 decks for me. If I still it'll probably be even higher once I feel like I have actually memorized every single card. I still do have to reference the book for a lot of stuff, but overall I think the cards give you a lot to pull from, and if I didn't have the book, intuitively I can and do still also just read intuitively if I have to. But I like it. I like it. It feels like it covers also like relationships between people too, like in the cards, where a lot of times in tarot you see like one figure. But yeah, really cool. Dreams of Gaia, highly recommend. They also have this creator actually, Raven, oh goodness, I will put their name in here, but like that creator has, my nose itches, has some great oracles too. And I believe they're currently working on a new tarot oracle deck. I think they are working on a new oracle deck. But yeah, so their new, or the second edition of their messenger oracle is a nice like matte cardstock. So I don't know if they're going to start including these in a matte cardstock in the future, and less like glossy. Again, I know a lot of people don't like gloss, and I think if they did change over to matte, they probably would get a lot more people into this deck. But don't let that put you off. It's beautiful. And again, I have etched mine in black, so, which is something that I do. All right, one more tarot deck, which will probably surprise everyone. It was really hard for me to choose between Lightseers and this one. But this one ultimately won out just because I just like the whimsy of it. And that is the Tarot of Mystical Moments. I know a lot of people have the Oracle, but I personally just like the Tarot much more. It has this dreamy quality, this kind of, again, like whimsical, fairy tale-esque feeling to it. It has its like a very unique voice. I think there's another tarot people often talk about or compare this to, called, I think it's the Dream Keeper's Tarot, where this one I think has a little bit more of a youthful, almost inner child voice, where that one maybe is a little more darker or psychological. But I really do love this one. It is like totally entering a dream world where nothing makes sense, but still it totally makes sense. You know what I mean? Like playing with size and that kind of thing. You know, I just like, I don't know, these all feel like people in a book, in a fantasy book that I would want to know. You know, kind of like people that live in like an Alice in Wonderland, or I don't know, just some cool fantasy world. I don't know. But yeah, so this one did beat out Light Seers, though Light Seers was a very, very strong contender. And yes, Katie, I know you said no honorable mentions. I'm trying really hard not to, but I can't not talk about the other decks I got, so yeah. Right, like, you know, this feels like almost like Goldilocks, but for lions, you know? Oh, and okay, so I always talk about this card. I love this card. If you've ever seen the movie Never Ending Story, there's a man or character that has a snail who is a racing snail. And every time I see this card, I'm like, it's a racing snail. Listen, my childhood lives in this card, and yeah, that's probably half the reason this deck will stay with me forever. I love it, you know, so yeah. Maybe if I can find a picture of like the character from Neverending Story, I will put it in there. I don't even think they're that big of a character, but in my mind, like that, it lives there. They took a piece of my inner child and just, it will never go away. Same with like some of the Labyrinth. Actually, I haven't like expressed how kind of like disappointed I am with like the Labyrinth tarot. I know a lot of people love it and I wanted to, but like, I don't know, all these Disney decks that are coming out are kind of not living up to my expectations. And I bought the like Nightmare Before Christmas one and I ended up selling it because I couldn't deal with the minors. I did not like the minors at all. Okay. Oh, and I said that, that the Tarot of the Toiling Hands was probably the newest one to my collection to be in this box, but I lied. I made a mistake. This is definitely the newest one. This is an Oracle. This is the Astro, hold on, the box is right here. Starcodes Astro Oracle. I had been waiting for this to come out. When I saw the previews, I knew this deck was going to be my new astrology deck. I haven't gotten rid of my other ones, but I feel like they're not going to get used. And now that I have this one, and I'll show you why. I just, again, you give me some like bright colors and intricate artwork, and I'm really here for it. I'm sorry if the volume also changes the minute I get up to do like this portion of it. I am much closer to my camera, so I'll probably have to try to do some editing. But yeah, this one again has some really cool, just nice decorative artwork. Like I said, I love the colors. I love the illustrative style. I come from a background where I absolutely grew up reading comic books and like graphic novels. So this kind of like inky illustrative style and coloring style definitely also feeds into my childhood and my young adulthood, formative years. And I really do just enjoy it. Might feel a little basic, I think, to other people. A lot of people like a messier art style. It gives that really like artsy vibes and maybe a less, I don't want to say traditional, but corporate, I guess, mainstream, commercial, this, you know. But I live for this kind of stuff. And that's fine. Everybody has what they like, and that's what makes life interesting. So, and there's definitely some stuff in here that I am not familiar with. I am not even close to being an astrology expert. I am still very much learning, so decks like this help me. And yeah, but I think it's got a lot of cool stuff and is even more expansive than the decks I have. And again, I just really like this artwork. So again, me and colors, but this kind of has this, the colors are very specific in certain areas, and then the rest is almost like black and white. So it's got this cool, almost color splash effect. This cool color splash effect that just works for me. I mean, some cards have, have a lot more color going on than like others. But yeah. So this is the Oracle that I am taking with me. And not only does it have all the astrology references, it has like a lot of artwork to intuitively bounce off of, and also just the actual keywords of, you know, that were chosen to represent each house and sign and planet, and you know, and also, like I said, if you're not into astrology, you can just use the keywords and it's enough. And if you just want to read into the actual artwork, you can. Like, I think this oracle really gives you kind of everything, and that's why I chose it. So yeah, that is my 10 decks, right? Pretty sure that's all that fits in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 decks. I didn't cheat, okay? I didn't show any other ones, just the 10. So I didn't cheat, right? All right, but anyway, if you made it this far along, thank you. Share with me, you know, your 10 decks, or if you've done a VR to this too. I'd love to see you guys'. I'm going to be going through Katey's tag and trying to find everyone, but obviously some of you guys I actually speak to on here, and I love communicating. So if you've done it, or if you're interested, or if you want to know anything else about the decks I've shown today, leave a comment, let me know, and I hope you guys are having a great day. Take care of each other, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you guys real soon in the next one. Bye.